Welcome back, True Seeker. It's been speculated for the better part of the last month that Larry Ellison of Oracle will be the primary person taking over TikTok because supposedly the US leadership doesn't want China having such a asset in America where so many Americans use it and our data could be vulnerable. Now, think about what Larry Ellison said last September 2024 at the Oracle shareholders meeting. I have played the clip before on this channel. If you have not seen it with your own eyes and ears, look up what Larry Ellison said last September 2024 about his vision of the AI utopia. And of course, it was the same Larry Ellison who stood behind Donald Trump and then spoke at the podium after Donald Trump when they were talking about the Stargate project, this massive federal funding of AI. I can't think of a more dangerous person literally alive right now than Larry Ellison based on what he said last September. If you didn't hear his AI utopia, this was his vision for the future. He wants a world where everything is under surveillance and monitored by an AI at all times. And he explained that he would like to see everyone have a camera on them at all times so that all of their behavior can be monitored. Now, think about how horribly un-American that sounds. And supposedly, China couldn't have TikTok because we were worried what they might do with the data. This is a man with a 1984 vision who's it's getting handed over to. I mean, granted, they are doing similar things in China, but the point I'm making is it doesn't matter if you're talking about China and their supposed communism or the U.S. and its crony capitalism. It's really all the same, all these different isms. I don't really see much of a difference, not to mention that the U.S. and China are major business partners, the world's biggest trading partners. But yeah, this guy described something that just sounded like a nightmare to me last September. And again, about this monitoring everyone and managing their behavior. How do you think this is going to factor into social media? I mean, here, look at me. How many times has my work been taken down for things like hate speech or medical misinformation? When, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't really done any hate speech. And I don't think I've put out any medical misinformation. Not to mention, these people who control these algorithms and are the censorship police. They do things like take down your work for medical misinformation when you're not talking about anything medical. I lost a whole channel over exposing the Transition Integrity Project, something that almost no American still knows about to this day. But again, it was pretty much the simulation for January 6th on June 12th, 2020, put on by Jesuit Georgetown. And again, for exposing that and telling people what to expect on January 6th, before it even happened, I lost a whole YouTube channel over medical misinformation. Of course, I had one of the first videos out on the Charlie Kirk shooting that got a lot of views, finally had a successful video on this channel, and it was taken down for hate speech. And there wasn't any hate speech in it. It just showed how the whole ritual, which it was, traced back to the Trump administration, and it was very much political, and it absolutely has been. But yeah, you have these technocrats, I guess is the word, like Larry Ellison. They're the ones who are going to dictate what's hate speech, what's everything. And if they don't like your message or your message is counter to their plans, you're out of here. I mean, it's already this way, but it's only going to get worse. So yeah, his vision for the future of America sounded worse than anything going on in the world. And well, I mean, to be fair, China's doing the social credit scoring. I think they're doing it in the U.S. just on the DL. Case in point, you guys, my book, my first book, Letters and Numbers, it once was my best source of income. It netted me about $1,000 a week on average. On Etsy, it would sell about $1,000 a week. Not bad. And it was just banned, cut off on the Ides of March for no explicit reason. It had been for sale since September of 2018, and it got banned March 15th, 2019. And at that point, it already amassed 1,000 5-star reviews. I mean, Really nothing wrong with the book, but I was never given an explanation for why it was banned. What was going on that day? I had 2 viral videos that day. If you go back to the top news story, March 15, 2019, it was the synagogue, the mosque shootings by the white supremacist in New Zealand. I did 2 videos on that. They both got over 500,000 views within hours. I was having a very good day in book sales that day. I sold more than $1,000 in books just that day alone based off those videos, but they both got banned that day when they were having the mass sales. And anyway, I never tried to put them back up on Etsy. The reason I'm telling you this story is when I finished my second book, I waited months until after it was out. And then I said, oh, let me see if I can put my second book up on Etsy, Number Games, which again did pretty well on Amazon. Again, it's also a well-reviewed book. Let me just pull it up here. Number Games, Zachary K. Hubbard. Yeah, there it is. You know, and if you guys don't know, once upon a time, this book had more reviews too. Overnight, Amazon took away a ton of reviews from this book. They didn't take away the troll reviews. The troll reviews are still up that are false. Like there's what troll review with a 1-star review that says, this guy doesn't even know that Joe Biden isn't the 47th president. The book talks about Joe Biden being the 47th vice president. Doesn't anywhere talk about him being the 47th president. Granted, that book came out before Joe Biden was even president. Anyway, the reason I'm telling the story is when I put this book, the ebook version, on Etsy, my mom got punished. My mom had a very successful wreath business on Etsy. She averaged about $50,000 per year in sales for wreaths. When I put this book up on Etsy, not only did it not sell anything, my mom's wreath business died overnight. All of a sudden, no more views, no more contact. She had it for a decade. I shouldn't say no more, but almost none. My mom now sells about $300 in wreaths a year on Etsy, and it happened that fast from, consistent sales, staying busy, making wreaths, mailing wreaths, to all of a sudden just nothing. And it happened as soon as I put this book on Etsy. And I mean, it's a massive coincidence. It's a massive coincidence. And keep in mind, my mom, she shares my work on her social media. So I think this is already kind of the way it's working. And I'll remind people that in 2015, you had I believe it was Oklahoma State. I believe it was the Oklahoma State Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken. There was a story of somebody driving their car into a crowd, injuring a lot of people who were attending the homecoming parade. And then I did a decode that day like I always do. And then that night, Oklahoma State won their game, and their winning score was that very significant Masonic number that matched the gematria of the supposed driver. Again, just rig sports, rig news. I said, you know what? I'm going to go down to Oklahoma State and teach this exact same thing at their campus. Overnight, just everything was frozen. My Facebook page, my YouTube, what else? My Twitter. And I had to, for all of them, I had to submit an image of my photo ID to get them all unfrozen. And it seems something about me promoting that I was going to go down and teach this. Again, this is 2015. It's a decade further now. But the point I'm making is this idea of keeping everything under surveillance, monitoring everyone's behavior, and these people determining what is right and wrong behavior. And you see a lot of these people right now. Listen, you guys, when the war in Ukraine started, if you had an AdSense account, you all got the same email that if you questioned the war with your social media and your AdSense accounts, you would be cut off from AdSense. You would lose your funding. And again, you guys, I mean, Larry Ellison and these people are these people who are doing these things and making these decisions and putting out those kind of threats. So, but by the way, this story right here, notice on October 6th, the media really focused on, it is going to be Larry Ellison. The speculation was him. Yesterday, they let us know, it's going to be Larry Ellison and his Oracle group. October 6th is the day leaving 86 days left in the year. So what a day. And the day that Trump signed his executive order for, the transfer of TikTok to Larry Ellison and the Oracle Group. That was September 25th, 2025. Notice from Larry Ellison's August 16th birthday to the day that happened was the 40th day of his age. Again, look at TikTok. 86 in the most simple cipher. Yesterday, we're hearing all about it on the day leaving 86 days left in the year. the day he signs the executive order, 40th day of Larry Ellison's age. And remember, 40 is not an arbitrary number. United States is U.S. United States equals 40, like U.S., like USA, like Old Testament. We just talked about this with the twin military shooters, the mass shooters over the other weekend that were both 40 years old. Mormon temple and place on the water down in the Carolinas. So anyway, just to read the reporting here. Oh, by the way, don't forget, Larry Ellison supposedly passed Elon Musk as the world's richest man. He must have been passed again by Elon Musk, because I just saw the other day that Elon Musk became the first person in world history to be worth $500 billion. So I guess this was momentarily. This was the day of the Charlie K thing. But again, when Larry Ellison supposedly passed puppet Elon Musk, Musk was 54 years old, like Oracle's 54. It was 74 days after Musk's birthday that he got passed by Larry. Both Larry and Larry Ellison, 74. News by the numbers all day, every day. Larry Ellison, one of the big beneficiaries of the Stargate project funding from the federal government. Remember, all these big tech types that have this crazy money, from Bill Gates to the rest of them, the reason they are so wealthy is really because of how many government contracts they have for the ever-growing building of the surveillance state. People, when they think of Microsoft, they think of, Windows operating system, word processing, but where Microsoft really makes its money is in housing electronic information, databases. Same thing with Amazon. Amazon also gets all kinds of crazy government contracts for building technology like facial recognition technology. All of these big tech companies are known for things like I just said with Microsoft. With Amazon, you think online shopping, but behind the scenes, they're also developing all the stuff that is so useful to the government for its surveillance, data, tracking, police state. So yeah, just to read the reporting yesterday, Larry Ellison has a lower profile than other tech billionaires. And by the way, you guys, yesterday was 10-6, right? An oracle's a prophet, right? Yesterday was 10-6, prophecy 106. A little more than a year ago, Larry Ellison was showing you his vision of the future AI utopia where everyone is watched by cameras at all time and on their best behavior because of it. All right. But his influence over media is about to be immense. His family's empire could soon own CBS, the all-seeing eye network. How perfect. You guys don't see the symbolism there? CBS has the all-seeing eye for a symbol. Paramount, CNN, and TikTok. Oh, wow. Tech billionaire Larry Ellison and his family are poised to establish a media dynasty. In the past few months, Ellison and his son, David, have taken control of CBS News. And again, my whole theory on these tech billionaires is they're really just puppets of the state. And, the people in government who really just want to have power and control and surveillance over people and control everyone's minds at all times, they use these puppets to run these supposedly private companies that at the end of the day might as well just be extensions of the government. Again, they're building the technology for them, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, we saw this when Cooties 19 was going on, how the government partnered up with Google and Apple to keep surveillance on people and test out the new technology that had the increased capability of tracking and surveillance. All of a sudden, they could see how many people were gathered in areas and see how many feet apart they were with the new 5G. Anyway. Tech billionaire Larry Ellison and his family are poised to establish a media dynasty. In the past few months, Ellison and his son David have taken control of CBS News. President Trump tapped them to run TikTok. What are we counting down to? And they're set to make a bid for CNN's parent company. NPR's Bobby Allen looks at Larry Ellison's rise from cloud store. Oracle is one of those tech companies that people often wonder, what exactly do they do again? Just ask George Polisner. He's a former Oracle executive. Earlier in my career, when I would tell people I was working for Oracle, they would go, the toothbrush company? And I would say, not Oral-B, but Oracle. Oracle's not in the toothbrush business, hosting massive amounts of data in the cloud, helping governments, militaries, hospitals, and private companies make sense of the data. The data-hungry AI era has meant big business for Oracle. Here's Larry Ellison talking to investors last year. You say, I really want to use AI. I want to take full advantage of AI. Well, you can't do it unless you get your data in order. Since the AI boom, Oracle has seen its stock price more than double. That has set the personal wealth of Larry Ellison soaring. He briefly knocked Elon Musk off the top spot as the world's richest person on the Bloomberg. Yeah, because like I just said, I just saw that he became the first person worth. So, but we saw the ritual of him supposedly becoming the world's richest man, which adds to his showy and flamboyant nature. Ellison, who is 81, owns nearly an entire Hawaiian island. He's a competitive yacht racer, and he owns a fighter jet. I wonder if how much he'll benefit from the real estate that was cleared on August 8th and August 9th. Former Oracle executive Paul Isner says Ellison was like this even before he became a confidant of President Trump. I think Larry is an iconoclast. He's always been known as a swashbuckling visionary in many respects. He has, I think, an incredible appetite for access to power. Anyway, I got to go pick up Sweet Girl. You can read the rest of this, but I think I already said enough to... Actually, let me get this quote in here, too. Let's get this quote in here. Ellison, this is from him. The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. So this is him echoing the same thing he said last September. But yeah, it's just... Our data wasn't safe with China. Let's give it to the guy who wants everybody under surveillance at all times. Okay. All right. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, you guys. Thank you again to everyone who hits the like and the share. Got to go pick up Sweet Girl. And until next time, True Sticker.